Hi, my name's Graham. It's the start of 2015 and I thought I'd start the new year with a new series that I'm going to call the Weekend Workshop Wrap Up. I got the idea from John at Double Boost, who managed to do a video every weekend during 2014. I'm not going to quite manage to match him, as it's actually the second weekend of 2015, so I'm already a weekend late. But I have been busy already. So I'm going to show you basically what I do in the workshop. I'm fixing up the house, so I'll maybe show you a few projects there. Some tools that I managed to get hold of, things I fix around the house, particularly kids' toys. I seem to always be fixing kids' toys. This channel was supposed to be about the CNC machine that I'm making, which you can see here behind me. Well, you can see the control box behind me, but I'm still waiting for the parts to be cut by a friend that I met on a forum. I'm going to have to chase them up and see if I can get those cut, because I'd like to film that a bit more. But other than that, I'm probably going to end up including quite a bit of woodwork. I'm quite into the woodwork. I'm mostly kitted out for doing woodwork, but I'd like to get into a bit of metalwork as well. Probably not steel. More likely aluminium or brass. It's a little bit easier to work with the tools I've got. So, well, wish me luck, because I've still got 52 or 51 videos to make.
So first thing I want to show you is the doors I've been making. I've got two of these, here and here. These are for a bathroom cabinet I've just fitted. I fitted the bathroom, to my shame, about 4 years ago, and I never got around to actually fitting the face frame to the cabinet. So over Christmas I thought, you know, I've got a couple of days spare, so I'll get on and actually make the face frame for it. This is just a bit of scrap ply I had. I was doing another job and I had a bit of 18mm ply left over. I don't have a planer thickness or anything. I don't have a track saw or any useful woodworking equipment right at the moment. So I've had to thickness all of this wood, or dimension all of the ply by hand, which I can tell you that was blooming hard work. What I did in the end was set up a really basic sort of thicknessing machine on the router table, which is one of the few power tools that I've actually got at the minute in this workshop. But yeah, I was pretty chuffed with how it came out. Yeah, basically 3 doors. I had to buy some hinges, but they're just cheap hinges from Screwfix. Where are they? These ones. So they're not bad hinges actually. All in all, you can see I put a B on them, so I know which hinge hole they go for, and then promptly painted the hinges, so I don't know where the hinges go now. The reason I had to put a letter on them is because they're all different sizes. So God knows what manufacturer they use, but they can't seem to cut the hinges to the right size. But yeah, brass hinges. It will look really good when it's finished. Now what I want to look at for the bulk of this video is this beastie, which one of my relatives was having a bit of a garage clear out, and so they gave me this. I've never used an electric plane before. I use hand planes all the time, but an electric plane is new to me. Looking at this, it's a few years old, I guess. It doesn't look particularly new. It's Bosch green, but it looks like it's from the era when Bosch green was actually fairly reasonable. Yeah, so my dad picked this up for me from my uncle, and he couldn't resist running some wood through it first. Let's see, has he cleaned out the bag? Yes, he has, that's good. Yeah, damned awkward port there. Of course, every tube in the world is round, except this one. To be honest, I don't think this is going to be a lot of use. Any sort of planer produces so many chips. A little bag like that is going to be neither use nor ornament. So I suspect that back in the box. The planer itself, yeah, it looks alright. It's got a little bit of weight to it. It doesn't go in. Looks like it's just to pull the trigger to make it go. That's a wee bit loose. But let's look at the business end of it. So the sole is, it's just a bit of pressed metal. Looks 1.5 mm maybe, can't imagine it's terribly flat. The blades, each one's held in with 3 screws with Allen key heads. The blades are 75mm, I'm guessing they're probably 3-inch blades. That one's got a big chip out of that corner. It's a couple of chips there, a little chip there. Don't know. I'll have to get the blade out and see what the damage is. See if I can clean that up, because they're quite big chips. It might be a replacement blade. And this one, oh dear, that's bad. There's a good chunk missing out of the blade here. What's that? Probably nearly 20mm of blade is completely gone. But there's no way you can grind that out, it's completely missing. But other than that, the looks to be in reasonable nick. There's no dirty great gashes or anything along the sole plate. I don't know what that's for. Oh, there's a bolt up there. So it's sort of captive bolt. Anyway, it looks to be alright. I'm going to spin it up and see how it goes. I've got a little bit of oak that I'm going to feed it. Or maybe I'll feed it a bit of pine first, and if that goes alright, I'll maybe try feeding it a bit of oak, see how it goes on that. Right, well I figured out what this captive nut's for. This turns, and it alters the depth of cut. So what I've done is set the blade to where it should be at its maximum extent, and then put a straight edge across here to see what the sort of depth of cut is like. And I think, well, when that's fully on the wood like that, that should be almost no depth of cut now. Strangely though, this plate and this plate don't seem to be anywhere near in alignment. This plate seems to slope in at that, like this, in at that angle, to the point where there's about 1 millimetre down from the blade stick out here. So I don't know if that's just the blades are incorrectly positioned. I mean, this is never going to be a fine woodworking tool though. All I want it to do, if I'm even going to keep it, is just for some rough stock removal. Anyway, let's give it a little go. I've never used one of these before, so I'll be interested to see how well it works. Wow, I'm seriously impressed. So that's taken off maybe 1/10 of a mil, maybe a bit more, 2/10 of a mil. It's just, you just catch your fingernail on it, and that's done a surprisingly good job. Let's alter that depth a bit. See if we can take a bit of a bigger cut. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting some marks along the wood because there's chips in the blade, some horrendous chips in the blade. But wow, I am very, very impressed. I mean, you're not, obviously you can't do anything big with it. It's good for, say, taking down a door or something like that, or clearing up the edge of a piece of stock like this. Let's see let's wind that right up. See what sort of cut we get with that. Yeah, oddly we seem to be getting about the same depth of cut no matter, I stopped a bit earlier on that one. Seem to be getting about the same depth of cut no matter where I put that setting. That's probably because the blades are sticking out too far. They're sticking out sufficiently far that the adjuster's not really adjusting. Wow, I'm really impressed. Right, so I'm going to replace the pine with a bit of fully seasoned oak and see if it can handle that. It seems to have a reasonable amount of power. And the mess isn't too bad either. There we go then. Big old chunk of oak. You can see here I've done a little bit of planing and scraping. The wife bought me a hand plane for Christmas, and I sharpened up the blade and I thought I'd just give it a little go. And that's come out an absolute treat. And if if this beastie can match that, I'll be well chuffed. I hadn't realised how unbelievably hard oak is to plane by hand. I do have a planer thickness, but it's in bits downstairs. It's knackered. But let's go. Let's see what it does. Well, blimey, it's certainly not going to win any awards, I'll give it that. Must have had a high spot here, which is not surprising. This is just the end of the board and it's got some terrible shakes in it. But yeah, oh god blimey, here and here, that must be that broken blade, because there must be a millimetre cliff just there. But yeah, you know what, that's not bad. It's a lot better than the rough sawn. Whether it's good enough that I could actually do something with it, I'd definitely have to run the hand plane over that. So the next thing I want to fix this week is the cafeteria. Yeah, I know, I'm fixing the cafeteria, just buy a new one. But I'm damned if I'm going to buy a new one. This one's only about 3 months old. But I managed to drop it the other morning when I was going to get in the morning coffee, and it landed like this, and managed to bend this base plate, which unfortunately is a bit of a critical component in the cafetiere, it seems. I bent it back into place, let's see. Yeah, so there, if I rest that across, you can see there's about 5mm of air gap there. Now, I think it's probably straight enough to work. So you screw this base up as far as it will go onto that thread, and then the little bit of plastic in there will press down on this and on the filter, and you've got one piece that will then stop the coffee grounds getting through. Yeah, brilliant. Apart from when I dropped it, I think it's at least partially stripped the threads in this bit of plastic. So now when we plunge it, the bit of plastic slides up, and what happens is these just then end up here like this. Yeah. Which neither use nor ornament, because they fall over to one side, all the coffee grounds get through, and you end up with a cup of coffee full of coffee grounds, which not a good start to the morning. And I'm a programmer, I need my coffee in the morning. So I've got the thread gauge out, and first I tried this one, and it was slightly too big, and so I tried this one, which was a tad too small. So stick this one, 0.8, and it's like hand in a glove, which is lucky. Don't know if you can see that. There we go, it's a nice fit in there, 0.8. So that's a 0.8 pitch, which we then go and get the thread chart. This is from Engineering Toolbox, and if you look at the pitch of 0.8 makes it an M5 course. So I'll go and see if I can find an M5 bolt nut. So as luck would have it, I've got a massive bag of M5 nuts. So let's see if it fits. If it's a treat. Now unfortunately I can't use this nut because it's steel, zinc plated steel, and I don't really want the zinc in my coffee. Now I'm going to have to use some stainless, but I'm sure Screwfix can supply me with some A2 stainless nuts, and yeah, I don't know if it's exactly the same stainless as this is made from, but it will do. It's good enough for me. And I've got some washers as well, so I might stick a couple of washers in there, because I want to spread the load on here, spread it as far out around there as I can. There we go. So just get some different nuts, and I think we can mark that job as done, and I can go back to having coffee in the morning.
Thanks for watching the first episode of the weekend workshop wrap up. I know they probably weren't the most exciting projects this weekend, but I was a bit stuck for what to do, it being the first week and everything. I'll hope to get some more interesting projects in the future. If there's anything you want to see me do, then just drop me a line. It's going to be a complete mixed bag of projects, and it's things I can get done quickly in a weekend. I'm going to try and intersperse it with some videos of bigger projects in the week, but I do have a full-time job that isn't playing in my workshop, so there is a limited amount of time, and I've got a family to look after as well, so yeah, try it. It might take me a long time to get things done, but I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to see any comments, any thoughts you got. Cheers. Hi, my name's Graham. It's the start of 2014.